Hello, I'm Douglas Johnson, and welcome to my little home studio here. This is the first video I'm doing in this home studio I put together. I haven't worked for 5 weeks now, probably like most of you. Everything's in the whole lockdown mode, and I tried to think to myself, how do I do air raid scavenger hunts where I can't go outside? I mean, I could go outside. I could put the mask on, and I could, have the gloves on, and I could do the social distancing, and I could go around, and I could find more of the air raid sirens. But yeah, they keep telling us to stay inside. So I thought I'd do a different type of scavenger hunt this time. I do one with sound. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go on YouTube. I have a computer set up right here, and I'm going to find a bunch of videos of the air raid sirens that we've been seeing out on the scavenger hunts that actually work, and we're going to hear what those sirens would have sounded like. There's been a lot of comments in "I wish they were working." Do you know if they work? And I think people are really interested in knowing what these sirens that I'm seeing, what they sounded like, and what it was probably like to be living at the time that those sirens were going off. I've spoken to people that grew up in Los Angeles, and they said up and through the late 80s they heard the sirens, and it's a very clear memory for them. I do remember growing up, there were sirens in my neighborhood, but again, that was over 20 years ago, 25 years ago. So let's remind ourselves, for those of us that remember the sirens, let's remind ourselves what they sounded like. And for those that have never heard them, it might be a good opportunity to listen to a few. You can go online. I'm going to put the videos up on the screen right here, and I'm going to try to put below that where the video came from. These will be all from YouTube. I just kind of went to YouTube, typed in the name of the sirens, and this is what I found. So hopefully I got that video going on here, and the first one we're going to see here is a Federal Model 5 siren test. This was put up by Purdue University on, well, almost a year ago. It was January, February, March, April 6th, 2019. And it is on the channel of Warning Sirens of Michiana. So this is a long one. It's like 12 minutes. I'm not going to play the whole 12 minutes. I'll just play a couple of seconds of it, and hopefully that's enough to get an idea. This looks like one of the birdhouse type sirens that we see around, and I'll show. So yeah, so this is a Model 5. Okay, I think that's enough to get an idea. But yeah, that's a noticeable sound. There were dozens of these all over Los Angeles. And just imagine if one went off, I'm sure a whole bunch of them went off. And those sounds were probably heard at different distances all over the city. It's pretty incredible. I have another one. Let's find that one. Give me a second here to pull it up. So here is another Model 5. This was done on February of 2017, and it's in Indiana, and it's put up by Warning Sirens, same channel, Warning Sirens of Michiana. So let's hear if this one sounds any different.
Attention Huntington City and County units.
Oh, there we go. This one modulates.
Attention Huntington City and County units, Huntington City and County Fire Department, Emergency Management, and all home monitors. Stand by for test of the Huntington City County Emergency Warning System.
Here we go. All right, so that's probably a good taste of what the Model 5 sounded like. And again, you can just find these on YouTube by just typing in the search Model 5, Federal Signal Model 5, and you'll get a couple of videos. So let's move on to another type of siren now. Let's move on to the SD-10. This is the one, it's probably the most prominent one, or words sometimes out of my mind. It's probably the most abundant one, the one I've seen the most on these trips. So now it would be really good to know what it's going to sound like, so that the next time I see them, because I plan on continuing to do these, to go out and find them around the city. There's 250. I've only seen like 75 of them, or if that. So I got a lot more to go. Anyway, I don't even think I did 75. I think it's more like 45. Anyway, so let's find out what the SD-10 was like. All right, so this one is just an audio clip. So I'll put up a photograph and we'll hear the audio. Let's see. Oh, that's eerie in the distance. Oh, there's more of them. Birds aren't happy. I think there's an issue with the recording there, but that one's eerie. That's really, I don't know if you guys felt the same, but that's really eerie. It's a little bit of a different sounding than the other one. I think it might have been a little bit because of how it was recorded, but yeah, it's definitely a different tone to it, and I'd be scared if I heard that one. Yeah, it sounds like something out of some science fiction or horror movie. All right, I have another one, another SD-10. Let's see if it sounds any different. Again, this is a recording, so let's see what it sounds like. Oh yeah. You can hear that cylinder that the commenter mentioned spinning inside the two holes, spinning past one another. You can kind of get a sense of that, and you can hear it spinning down at the end there. Yeah, it's still going. All right, so that was an SD-10. So we got two examples of a Model 5. We got two examples of SD-10. Let's move on now to a 500. The 500s are the ones, if I remember correctly, that are supposed to spin around. I saw a couple of those in the last walk I just did. All right, so you see this is a double-sided 500. The ones I've seen here in town, I believe, were all had a single cone on it. This one's got two, so I don't think you get much of that modulation where he talks about it goes around at that comment that I read talks about it going around in 360, and it comes like it disappears and gets louder and disappears as it goes around. It doesn't sound like you're going to get that same effect with this one since it's got two-sided. So once that what's that called, where sound travels to and from the if I remember by the time I edit it, I'll put it up on the bottom, but the that effect of the sound going away when it's pointing away and coming back when it comes back, it just isn't there for this one. But it's definitely a very distinctive sound. I think it's also very similar to what we heard on that second SD-10. So yeah, let's see. I have one more of the 500s here. Let's see how that one sounds. All right, so here's another Model 500. This one's a one-sided one, like what we've seen around Los Angeles. So it's probably going to spin around. And let's see if we get that same doppler effect that we were told about from the commenter. So let's listen. So I was able to hear the Doppler effect. It wasn't that big of an effect though, but there definitely was a difference from when it was pointing at the camera and when it was pointing away from the camera. And it had a lot of cool little modulations that were in that siren there. I mean, the longer you listen to a lot of these things, the more you can hear the specific sounds that each one makes. So yeah, so I hope you like these videos. I hope you like this little tour, this little audio tour of the sirens, and let me know if it's something you want to get more of. I can certainly see if I can find more of the siren audio. I can put more of it up. Let me know if I can do it better. But anyway, yeah, now when I go out, I'll have a better idea of what the sirens that I see, what they sounded like. And that's really going to help me envision what it was like to be living at the time that those sirens were active, because it would probably take a lot of work for the sirens to get back in a working order. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing more trips, even if I have to go out and wear a mask. I still have a lot of sirens to find, so I hope you check those videos out, and I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy out there, and yeah, so this is just a little way we can do a little bit of exploring while we're here locked down, trying to stay healthy. And until next time, yeah, I already said it. Stay safe and stay healthy.